week to rest, just to prepare ahead for Monday, because Monday usually is a busy day. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and of course, we will be bringing you Global Morning today. And we have the papers to look at, as usual. Let's know what the headlines are saying, and what's new, what's informing, what's the details from entertainment and every other aspect of the newspaper. And of course, I will have my guests join me during the newspaper review. We will be reviewing it together, and afterwards we'll talk about something very, very important, a topical issue. And of course, I want to especially welcome you to this Sunday edition of Global Morning. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return. I will bring you the national dailies. Let's see what the papers are saying. But then, before we go into what the papers are saying, I want you to know that each day comes with its own positivity, and you have the option to choose the positive vibes and the negative vibes. But all you have to do is ensure that whatever choice you're making today should be a choice that you wouldn't regret the aftermath of it, because every decision, every choice have a consequence. It could be positive, it could be negative, but all we wish for you is to have a positive experience, more so that you're connected to Global Morning. Let's go on a quick break. We'll return to look at the pages of the national dailies after this break. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back from that break. It is still Global Morning, and on Global Morning today we're looking at the National Daily straight away. I told you my guests will be joining me as we look at the pages of the National Dailies to bring to you some review. His name is Comrade James Ezema. It's good to have you join us today. He's a public affairs analyst and of course a human rights activist, a media consultant, and of course he's joining us on this Sunday edition of Global Morning. It's good to have you join us on Global Morning.
Good to be here.
Should I be saying happy Sunday?
Yeah, we have every reason to be happy because it's a new day, new hope.
Yes.
Even if it looks hopeless, we have to encourage ourselves.
Renewed hope? The renewed hope. Hopes have been renewed every day.
Well, you have to renew it every day. Not because it's a slogan, but you have to make up your mind to renew your hope every morning.
I think I love that one. All right, you've heard, you have to make up your mind to renew your hope every morning. All right, they are new every morning because God has actually been faithful. All right, let's quickly look at the pages of the National Daily, and beginning from the Nation's newspaper this morning. What is the Nation's newspaper saying? Flash flood alert in Ekiti, Delta, Sokoto, 11 others. And one rider to that story, and the rider says, Lagos warns imminent heavy rainfall. There is a warning in Lagos right now. Then moving away from there, we have the picture of Wole Soyinka right at the right hand side of the Nation's newspaper. Soyinka to IBB, that's the kicker. You are general without an army. Just one rider to that story. Ask Tinubu to investigate deaths of Delegiwa Kudirat. All right, and of course at Ola Bola Ige. All right, okay, Kudirat Abiola, I beg your pardon, then Bola Ige. Okay, that's the Nobel laureate talking right there. All right, now to the big story. Anger as suspected headers kill 100 in fresh Benue attack. I saw that video yesterday and I felt very bad. It was that sight wasn't a pleasant one at all. Like the lady whose children were burnt alive with a mother, you know. It wasn't a good experience. But then the issue of Benue State, we'll look at that when we get into the analysis. 2 riders to that story. And the first rider says at least 2 soldiers among the victims that were killed. Weeping deputy governor flails killings as barbaric. And you have a picture story there. Okay, that's a different one altogether, where you have some governors alongside with the president, including the former governor of Benue State. 64,000 students sit for common entrance exam into federal colleges. One added to that story, Lagos leads registrants with 15,000 candidates. Wow. Out of the 64,000 candidates, Lagos has 15,000, which is the highest. Details read on page 31. Tragedy as groom, 2 friends die in crash, an hour to wedding. That's bad. Page 2 is where you can find that story. And finally, from the Nation's newspaper this morning, local government polls. Lagos APC kicks off campaigns Tuesday. Lagos APC kicks off campaigns Tuesday. That's when the campaign for the local government polls is going to get started. All right, comrade, looking at the headlines, one of the headlines that actually drew my attention is one, a lot of them did, talking about the issue of flood alert in Ekiti, Delta, Sokoto, and 11 other places. Nigerians, most times, people complain of the fact that we are more used to damage control than prevention.
Yeah.
Now there is an alert. What are you thinking? What's on your mind? Are we still going to have a repeat of what we've been happening? Remember the issue of flooding in Nigeria?
Yeah, it is unfortunate that we don't run until the rain start beating us in Nigeria. When we see the signs, we don't get ready. You will see that some people will be in that environment until something will happen. And you see, some of these alerts too, the government have to find a way to get this thing to the grassroots and things like that, so that the message will trickle down.
I don't know. So you guys coming out to give an address. When I saw you are a general without an army, I was like, that's
making someone to laugh.
Yes, that headline. I was wondering. I was thinking, could this be an appraiser or could it be a hailing?
I did somebody that down fought war. You are now calling the person a general without an army. What would you now say about some of the people who actually have not lifted a gun and they are generals,
Okay, we have people who have not lifted a gun. I thought the rank of general is only for the army, for the military. So we still have people who are generals.
Apart from lifting their guns, say they are during trainings and things like that, many of them have not gone to any war. So let's wait and see how it's going to be. But I don't know what the Prof want to achieve by firing the servo. I don't know what he wants to achieve, but whatever it is.
He's talking of investigating the death of Kudirat, Abiola, Delegiwa.
It's not only Kudirat. There are so many political killings that have happened in Nigeria. We have the Funsho William case. We have the Harry Marshall case. We have several of them. Even it's not only Delegiwa. There are several journalists that have disappeared. So there should be thorough investigation. Some of these, there are several of unresolved cases, murder cases or disappearance cases of disappearance and things like that across the country, and even not only in the media circle. So there are a lot to be investigated. Actually, there are a lot to be investigated, and I think. The call is apt, and let's know what actually transpired and see what is going to happen.
Okay, on the big story of the Nation's newspaper this morning, is actually particular about the incident in Benue State. I
Yes.
don't know if you've been following the killings in Benue State for the past months.
In fact, this particular case is one killing too many, because you see that the governor, the deputy governor, they referred to him as a weeping deputy governor. He was cry baby at the scene, at the news of what has happened. But you see, we should go beyond the crying, and actually find a solution to some of these things. I don't know how killing will be going on in a particular state since almost 7 years, and there is no end to it. And I don't know. It is unfortunate, actually. And you see that as each time election cycle is coming, you will see that this kind of incidents will keep increasing. You keep increasing, and that is to tell you that there could possibly be a political undertone to it also. And then on the other hand, we should also be looking at how are the intelligence community doing really in this kind of situation, and if they are up to speed with their job, then we should find who was supposed to take action, a proactive action that never did. One of the major challenge we have in Nigeria is that things happen and there are no consequences. Things will happen, there are no consequences. As much as 100 people, these are the ones that we know for now, dead, and there's no consequence anywhere. No, that is I don't know. I don't know why we should continue to waste lives like this. If we can, I wish we have a way of looking into the future, and then we will find how many governors, how many presidents who have changed Nigeria that have been killed and wasted just in the communities in this manner. See inventors, see people that would have been innovators that would have given us solution to our problems that have just been wasted for no reason. Because I can't see the reason why this killing is still ongoing. You cannot sometimes they attribute it to farmers and headers matter. Sometimes they say it's political. Sometimes they say it's communal clash. Sometimes they tell you there are some other underlying factors and things like that. But you see, the thing is that what is it that you are fighting for that is worth the life of a human being?
In the same Benue State, they gave I don't know, but then I think the people they feel were given problem in Benue State were asked to leave. And there were videos flying where some of them said openly that they were not leaving. And after that, after asking them to leave, the problem escalated more. All right, let's look at the Sun Times, Sunday Times. That's the Daily Times newspaper, but this is Sunday Times because it is Sunday. The big story is where I'm starting from. And the big story says, Reps summon finance minister, CBN governor over violation of Physical Act. Details read on page 2. A 2027 ex-Niger Delta agitators endorses Tinubu for second term. Agric Ministry clarify prayer session to address sudden death scare. 90th birthday, Sam Amoka Pemo living monument to truth, patriotism. That's federal government saying that. Israel-Iran crisis, Nigeria urges restraint, warns against escalation. Education Minister commends conduct of NECO exam Saturday. I think NECO probably learned from WAEC.
I think the materials arrived on time. There was no complaint of late arrival of materials. There were, in fact, everything went smoothly, and because I know one or two people that participated in that exam, and even some of the parents were the ones that caused delay on their part, because they didn't verify the venue for the center for their own kids before the exam date, and some of them were arriving at venue different from their registered venue. So apart from that, there have no any kind of late night candle being used to
like it was done during WAEC. Well, I think WAEC and what happened to
WAEC and JAMB? I think they should learn from this one.
But then I'm even thinking if the NECO can be formalized so that it can be used in the world, anywhere in the world, just the way WAEC is being used in West Africa and of course some other countries.
I learned that some people took the entrance exam somewhere in the neighboring countries, and I think Nigerians who are living in the neighboring countries who have written their own exam somewhere there, you know.
Okay, so that's their NECO exam.
Yeah, their NECO exam, and it's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. Instead of traveling all the way, coming home to come and write exams when in this computer age and things like that.
I think so it's good because
it's a very
that's an effort to even make the board known. Yes, to make the board known.
Exactly.
People be like, oh, they're writing an exam here. What exam are they writing? It's National Examination Council. Okay, and it's coming from Nigeria. Well, it's a good one. All right, more headlines from the Sunday Times. This one says, okay, I've taken this. Let's go to Kaduna State right now. Police intensify raids, arrest 182 crime suspects in Kaduna State. I think crime should be reducing in Kaduna if what they really alleged during the past administration is true. And now we're moving straight to the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch, June 12, probe Bola Ige, Kudirat, Delegiwa's death. Soyinka urges Tinubu. Benue headers kills cause in 2-day rampage. I lost 23 relatives to attack, says ex-governor's aide. Wow, that's pathetic. You know what it means to get to a community and wipe everyone.
That's
the big story on the Punch newspaper. 2027 secession storm brews as 10 governors exit. Some riders to that story actually. Tinubu's loyalists jostle for Lagos governor's seat. Saraki mobilizes PDP forces for Kwara comeback. 20 politicians declare interest in Nasarawa. How I escaped from organ harvester's den. Ex-banker. Patients battle for survival as blood banks run dry. Then this one says, June 12, why I fled Nigeria for asylum in U.S. Senate leader Bamidele is the one saying that. Nigeria has imported 1.67 trillion naira food, drinks in 3 months. NBS, National Bureau of Statistics, is the one saying that. FCT ground rent payment surged 24 hours to deadline. All right, you can see the picture of the FCT minister right there. Over 300 Nigerians seek asylum in Iceland. Wow, people are running away. People are running away. Comrade, Nigerians going to seek asylum in Iceland when there is no war in Nigeria. What does that mean?
It's actually a wake-up call, you know. It's actually a wake-up call. We should do more than the slogan of the reforms are working. You know, yes, the reforms will produce a result, but one of the things that is lacking is the cushioning effect, you know, in the interim, because you have to be alive till when the fruits will start coming. So we need to first of all make sure that we keep the people alive until the time when we are going to begin to reap the big benefits of the reforms. And that is where the issue of governance comes in. You know, sometimes they will tell you, give governance a human face, you know, and this is what it is like. We should be welfaric, you know, a bit in terms of dealing with some issues. We shouldn't continue to wave aside things that are germane, you know. And you will see people going to sell ancestral land, do all kinds of things just to have money in their pockets to flee the country. And that is a bad situation. It's not good for our country. It's not good. And most of our skilled laborers have been, you know, taken away from us on daily basis because they are actually needed somewhere there. But the problem is how to get there. And most of these fleeing people take you know, the risk of following you know, illegal routes, you know, to exit, and most of them die on the road, on the way, and they never get to their destination you know, alive. So it is something that calls for urgency in terms of dealing with the challenges that has to do with this you know, the pains of reform, as I will call it. So these pains of reform should be suited in such a manner that Nigerians who are passing through this pain will be able to actually have their hope renewed. Because if the hopelessness persists for too long, there is nothing anybody can do. You see that people will start taking laws into their hands. Some people will begin to invent some other criminal ways to make ends meet, and that's why you see that people are easily being recruited as thugs. People are easily being recruited as you know, for all these their issues that has to do with kidnapping and all the rest. So you will see that once the young people are idle everywhere, you know, you will see it's easy to recruit them. These days we hear stories of schools not where people are trained to become engineers, not where people are trained to become pilots or even you know, but schools that people are where people are being trained to become Yahoo boys. You know, you now graduate with a Yahoo boy certificate and you are going up and down, you know, and that is the what kind of education is that? So there are things, people are just finding a way, trying to survive. There was somebody that is a lawyer that actually I was shocked. He was said to have gone to Imo State to go to the school of Yahoo, you know. Yes, Yahoo has yes, a graduate. He had to leave, a lawyer, you know, called to bar, had to go and learn Yahoo somewhere, you know. So it
was it caught? How comes the revelation?
Is a common this thing in the you know, when all these village talks, the person will just disappear all of a sudden and he will come back. Before you know it, the person has bought a car, he bought this one, he starts doing things, and then you always suspect that probably something must have happened. And this is the thing. The police has busted several of such Yahoo schools, you know, even within FCT here. So it is something that the government should actually look at how to get our young people positively engaged. These people have energy, they have aspirations, they have things that they want to achieve, and if the conditions and the situations around them does not allow them to become that which they want to be, you know, legally, they want to explore other shortcuts which are always not palatable, you know, to the society. So we should begin to look at how we are going to be dealing with the aftermath of some of these reforms, the negative impact of reform. Nobody is saying that reform should be sweet and will not be painful. But what we are talking about is that if it is painful, we should find a way to, make, reduce the pain. It's just like somebody who is going for a surgery. The doctor said that I will, perform this surgery because that's the only way you will survive. And he refused to give you an anesthesia, and he's just butchering your body just like that. It does not make any medical sense. So that is how reform is supposed to be. Reforms are not supposed to, be just something you just carry out for the sake of carrying out the reform. Because if the patient dies of the pain of the surgery, then of what use is the solution that you are trying to, profile? So let us begin to look at some of these things. That's why some people were angry when subsidy was removed without a functional refinery. Subsidy was removed without any means of reducing the cost of transportation. And up till now, 2 years down the line, after the removal of subsidy, we don't have any public, any transport system that has been fixed, to reduce the pain of moving goods and services up and down, especially when the cost is skyrocketing because of the fluctuating price of petrol, which is becoming a problem. So if the government can do something about it, yes, they are providing these CNG buses and alternatives and things like that, but what is the percentage? So, and what is the impact? And it's discovered that there's still more to be done.
All right, we're trying to round up now. Finally, the Sunday Vanguard, why Tinubu did not reinstate Fubara on June 12. Then the writer says, a reason Wike won't let go Sheyi Makinde connection. This one says a big story now. Furore over June 12th list. IDP soldiers among 200 killed in Benue fresh attack. Bombshell 32 years after, and you see the picture of Abiola right there. Heavy rainfall, Lagos warns residents against flood. And that's the size of the headlines for this morning. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll look at the role of religion in societal development. Stay with us. A lot of people don't know the role that religion plays. Some people said, well, religion, like they said, is the opium of the people. Some people feel, well, religion is just me and my religion. I don't have any business with the society. I don't have any business with the other person. I have freedom of worship and all of that. But then, do you know, or don't you think religion can be used to shapen the society and bring about societal development? We're going to do a little discussion, and before we bring global television, global morning to a close today, and my guest is still right with me, our comrade James Ezema. He is a political and public affairs analyst. He is also, of course, a human rights activist, and we know that where the right of someone else stops, that's where that of the other person starts. Now, once again, it's good to still have you on Global Morning today, this Sunday edition.
Thank you very much for having me.
Do you think religion has anything to do with societal development?
Very well, very well. If religion, like in a place like Nigeria, for instance, if not for religion, I think the entire society would have been out of joint. Because if the number of people that troop into you know, the religious houses, the churches, the mosques, and all the other religious houses, even the shrines, you know, as it were. If those ones come and you know, and join some of these people that are committing all kinds of crime, you know that if we will not be able to even sit down here this morning. So religion actually helps in development, because it helps to build at least it help to build moral, you know, inculcate moral in the society, because if you know, everything is not about law. Sometimes if you have a kind of you lack you know, moral guidance, you know, and training. You know, in those days they will tell you that this person lacks home training, you know. So if you lack home training, it will be very difficult for you to actually even contribute to the development of society. You will end up becoming an instrument of destruction and destabilization within society. But some of these religious houses have helped in inculcating morals into our people, and that is one of the reasons why I believe that religion has a lot to contribute in terms of societal development, because it starts with you knowing that there is something or some entity somewhere that is watching over you and cannot allow you to do certain wrongs, or that it could punish you for doing certain wrongs, and that is a source of restraint, and it helps in you making sure that you also contribute to development of society.
All right, let's look at I personally have seen some religion, okay, some religion, or let's say I've seen Islamic schools.
Yeah.
I've also seen schools built by Catholic churches, even Pentecostal churches, and all of that.
Yeah.
And what do you think can be the impact of such things being done by religious leaders?
You see, the truth of it is that in every society, not just Nigeria, it's difficult for you to have a government taking care of every problem in that society. And that is why some charity organizations are out there, you know, trying to you know, help in solving societal problems that they find, and the churches are part of it. Most of them, yes, some of them we might say that they are doing that at a high cost or at a cutthroat price, that even their church members or people who go to some of their mosques will not be able to, you know, pay the fees. But still, you discover that this you know, contribute to the large extent in reducing the number of out of school children. The government school cannot accommodate everybody. Take for instance in FCT, for over 3 months now, children have been at home, and I learned that yesterday some of those children took common entrance examination, and they have been out of school because the schools the teachers have been on strike, and the schools have shut down. And then you will now have them, you know, in some places where they are taking exams, and then you discover how did they, you know, get to you know, write the exam. Some of them, they had to engage extra teachers to take them, you know, at home and things like that. And then if some of the other persons who are also in private schools are part of those who are in the public schools that are shut down for 3 months now, you will see that the society will be out of joint. So that is part of what some of these religious institutions, religious organizations are also contributing, in trying to reduce the number of people that are supposed to have dropped out of school. And to be fair to some of these religious bodies, some of them actually give scholarship to indigent students, and you see that some brilliant indigent students who may never have gone to school have been able to go to school because of them. Even though we condemn them for certain high cost the place in some of those schools where some of their members cannot attend, but still they still give scholarship to some of them too who would never have gone to school, and that is what we are seeing in Nigeria. And that's how they contribute to development of society, because first thing in development is to build the mind of the people, and once the young minds are built and through education, the sky will be the limit.
All right, let me just comment this way. You talked about the fact that some of these religious houses, some of this religion, all right, have schools or maybe infrastructures that some members cannot really afford. Maybe as a result of the quality, because there are some religious houses, there are some imam, okay, as a matter of fact, that will never want to compromise standard for any reason.
Sure.
If it is not done this way, it better not done.
Yeah.
So also it is with some pastors, some religious leaders.
Yes.
They will tell you quality. If the world can give quality, we can also give quality.
Yeah.
Now, for us to have quality and to have substandard that everyone can attend, which is better? I don't know.
You see, it all depends on which school of thought you belong to. So some people believe that okay, so long as it's a religious house, or that a school is owned by a religious body, that they should actually make it free, for the people. After all, it is the gifts and the things that the donations by members of the churches that they are using to build those places. But the truth is that those donations sometimes may not be enough, for some of them, and they had to pay the teachers who are working there
and maintain
the infrastructure, and then even expand, build more. We have seen some of these religious organizations, building new schools, expanding the existing ones and things like that. So it is also a thing that we also look at from their own perspective, what they are also passing through in terms of trying to get these things done. And then sometimes we also look at what they call it, that they are flying private jets and things like that. You see, some of these things too are meant for operational purposes. But sometimes if you are far away, you may not actually understand why they use some of those private jets. Some of them have a different engagements, international engagement, local engagement, that you can see what happened the other day at the airport, where some people were fighting over who came late and who did not come late and things like that. So some of them will not want that kind of delays. They want a situation, they get to where they are going, finish what they are doing at the time that the spirit have said is okay, they will now move. Sometimes you might be having a religious activity, and the spirit have not said you are done, and the time for your flight is the next minute. What do? Will you now leave the work that you are doing and now say, oh, because of the time I need to meet up the time for my flight? So these are some of also the other ways we should look at it from the other side. But some of them too are also using it just for luxury purposes, and well, they are also entitled to it because they are actually working.
For conscience sake, I feel for conscience sake, if you don't, I know of some religious leaders who can actually afford a private jet.
Yes.
But somehow they refuse to get one, maybe for the now.
Yes.
Because they have access to one or two persons that they can put a call across to, and say, I have a program here, and they make it available and all of that. Now let's get to the area of government as we try to round up. What role do you think the government needs to play? If we say the religious leaders, the imams, the pastors, and the rest of them are doing well, contributing to societal growth and development, even national development, what support do you think the federal government should give to them, the government? Because most times they are just left alone.
Sure.
You can hear, we want to build a road here, and they'll tell you this is a federal government road, whether the people have access to the worship center or not, you can do it. Maybe we want to do something like a flyover, then you see maybe someone saying, well, you can't do it maybe for personal reasons, or maybe they feel, well, this is not part of us or something. What do you think about all of these circumstances?
You see, the government should begin to always think about the people first. You know, sometimes it beats my imagination why somebody will want to do a road, and I've seen it several times. Somebody, especially major roads, you know, what the government should do is actually to give them the standard, give them the design and the standard, and say, this is the standard we want you to put in place. The road design, this is how it should be. Rather than say, no, you cannot do it. When they want to contribute to making the society better, and you now say, no, you cannot do it. You see, the only thing the government can say is that, look, if you build the road, don't come to us and say we should reimburse you because we are not going to pay. Fine. But you don't say, no, don't build bridges, don't build this, don't build road, don't go this way. No, it actually hampers development in the real sense of it. And we should also look at it from the perspective that if some of these things are not done and the government did not do them, it affects economic growth. So the contribution to GDP from certain sectors will not come because there are no motorable roads, there are no access to certain places, especially in the rural communities, where they will have to access markets from their farms. You know, so people, government should be able to get more liberal in terms of dealing with some of these issues, and forget about politics and other personal interests, and focus on the individual population, individual persons, the people who are living within those communities and those areas where some people want to intervene or some organizations want to intervene, and not just say, no, you cannot do it, no, you can't touch
especially
it.
That of overhead bridges.
Yes, overhead bridges, all you need to do is, okay, you want to do it, fine. Give them the standard and let them do it. Get people to supervise the construction and make sure that the thing is is within the standard that you have set. So that is just what you should do. But you cannot say, no, don't do it, don't build it. Because I have heard some people say that, oh, they wanted to build bridges, so that they will reduce the traffic gridlock that happen when some churches are having their activities. But the government say, no, you don't touch it, no, you don't. No, what do? And you give them the standard, and you yourself, you are not doing it because you say you don't have the money. So, but some people wants to get it done. You say, no, you can't do it. It's a government property. Who is the government? We are all the government. The government is not any particular individual. You are privileged to be in office today because you are representing the people. But once your tenure is out, elapses, you go home and become like every other citizen and every other person. So why muzzle the society by just feeling that because this person does not belong to your own side of the political divide, or it doesn't belong to your religion, or is not thinking the way you are thinking, then you should starve the society the necessary and needed ingredient that will develop the society. You don't do that.
Right. Our time is up. We can continue. But then what he has said is that whatever the government is doing, thinking they are doing to religious leaders, instead of supporting them in terms of road construction, building of overhead bridges, and every other thing that will enhance societal growth and development, is not to the individual religious leaders, but then to the people. And of course, you are there today, tomorrow someone else will be there. That's the word of James Ezema, comrade. Let me add comrade. As a matter of fact, so many thanks for joining us today on Global Morning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Our time is up. This is going to be the size of Global Morning. I feel I continue because this topic is so vast. Some other time we'll talk about it again. Many thanks for staying with us. Global Morning continues again tomorrow, Monday, 7 a.m. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Have a beautiful Sunday celebration. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure. If you don't say we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rate as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle with the ASU strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.